Hi, it's time. Been trying fire cider and I've actually been getting skinnier. Let me put this phone down. Check this out. I started taking it in November so I could not get sick. As a children's entertainer doing balloon twisting and face painting, I really can't afford to get sick. Face painting and balloon twisting is what I do to help provide education opportunities and learning for my children. And look at this, look at this. I don't have any before pictures, but I am down at least one or two dress sizes. Ever since I started taking apple cider vinegar, I take a tablespoon at night before bed on an empty stomach, and I take a tablespoon first thing in the morning before I have anything to eat. And I'm feeling more energized and I'm looking good. This will be like a benchmark video to show you. This is what I looked like a year ago. I could buy it, but I've also been seeing a lot of ways to make it. And you're given a list of ingredients. In fact, when I forget what ingredients to use, I've started making my own batch. It says right here, there's a list of ingredients. So I go off of that as a general guideline, and I looked at other recipes and I've been trying them out, and let me show you what they look like. 7 weeks ago, I made this jar. I put a label on it from when I started and when it should be finished. You want to let it sit for 6 to 7 weeks. Now, this fire cider that I get is diluted, and it's in a plastic container. It's a beautiful plastic container, but plastic doesn't hold up long under strong vinegar. You really want to use a glass jar, which is best. So this has a whole bunch. That liquid in there, that's powdered turmeric and a little bit of powdered onion and garlic, but fresh is always best. My batch here is ready for straining, and so that's what. And I need a jar. I don't have a lot of jars. People buy those big jars, but I don't need 6 big jars. Maybe 2, just 2. I need someone to go in and buy some with me. So because I need a jar, and I have 2 jars ready, this is what I'm going to do. This jar, this is an old honey jar, but it's a wide mouth. You want to get a wide mouth jar and give it a shake every once in a while. Oop, I did crack that open and I gave it a shake, and then you get a leak. Oop. All right, so since I need to make some more and I need a jar, we're going to have to get that stuff out first, and then I will show you how I load it up. In my opinion, I don't think you can go wrong with any type of measurements. All right, I'm going to get a bowl. I'm going to get a strainer. I'm going to open this jar. These ingredients have been seeping together and infusing for 6 weeks. I empty it all out. So I'm reusing this jar. I want to clean it. I rinse it out, and I'm going to microwave it. Microwave. Jar. In. Close. 5 minutes in the microwave and it'll be ready. Squirrel moment. Let's just take this moment to document. Let's see. We'll just do my waist. We'll just take one measurement, put it tight against my waist, making sure it's even. Do you see that? We are at 114.5 centimeters, or 45 inches. All the ingredients have been seeping for a while. I'm going to take this spoon and I'm going to give it some pressure to get the most out of this. Now, I've heard that some people, after getting all the liquid they can out of this, all of that juice and good stuff, they like the flavor so much that they actually dry and powderize and turn it into a seasoning spice. I'm not that much of a fan of the stuff, but it's great when you can reuse, and it's healthy, and it's extra fiber. Okay, now we'll get the jar out of the microwave. It will be hot, so remember your hot pads. Now we're going to pour the hot water out. Going to get a funnel. It's always best to use glass or metal when working with this, with anything acidic. Okay, now I'm going to take my old glass honey jar. Get that poured in through the funnel. Now, one thing that I noticed that the fire cider people do is they add distilled water or purified water. Because this is very acidic, watering it down will not hurt. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water just to fill up the jar. Give this a rinse. And now I have fire cider for the next 2 months. This is and 32 ounces will usually see me through 2 months. If you're feeling sick, I've heard taking 3 doses a day is very helpful. I have put my first batch I made myself into this plastic jar. It's getting stained. I don't know if I can trust this plastic container for one more batch, so I'm going to just eat from there. But I just remembered I wanted to show you how I fill the jar. I just defeated that purpose, didn't I? But that's okay, because when I made it last time, I made 2. Because I'm trying to get my children to take it. Like a lot of health benefits, keeps you healthy. I'm losing weight and staying healthy. So, opener. I really need to get an empty jar so I can show you how I put together my fire cider. Now, I'm not a... Whoop, keep your eye on what you... And while that's microwaving, we're mushing out the old plastic bottle. Just temporarily, it's going to house bottle number 2 of fire cider. I take anywhere from 5 to 10 milliliters of fire cider. So I pour just a little bit in there. Just like that. I add a little bit of water. And then I have a cup of water, and then you just chug it. It's really important. Drink lots of water. Let's make a fresh batch. It's okay to go overkill on ingredients in this recipe, I feel. I laid out all the ingredients that are listed on this fire silo bottle I am following. So the first thing to have is apple cider vinegar. It's the main ingredient, so it's listed first. But when you're making it yourself, you add it last. Followed by water. So we're going to do garlic. Got the garlic. Ginger. I have ginger. Dried turmeric. Purple onion. I don't know why it's supposed to be purple. Red onion's the same thing as purple onion. Rosemary and thyme. All I could find was a poultry mix, but I know which ones are rosemary and which one is thyme. I believe that's sage. This looks like it's thyme. Even if it's not rosemary and thyme, I don't think it would hurt one bit. After all, chicken soup is like the mother's recipe of healthy. How to get healthy if you have a cold. So what I'm doing here with this live herbs is I'm crushing the leaves to break up the surface to release the properties. I don't want anything to go bad, so I'm just going to put it all in. Okay, I don't think I can go wrong with that. Except make it super concentrated. Once I got the thyme in there, I start doing the rosemary. So that's rosemary, and this is thyme. Thyme has tiny leaves. It suggests that you cut it up, crush it, or just rough chop it, but that's why I'm bending and breaking the cell walls of the leaves, bruising the leaves is what it's called, I believe. Super concentrated. Because I'm just using this all up. Now I'm looking at it. Do I really want to use it up? Do I want to do 2 batches? What do I want to do with this? I can always buy more. Make more. Okay. So you just put it in there. I'm going to put an entire clove of garlic in there. You could add more if you like, I guess. We could crush these up one at a time. But I'm going to just cut the bulbs free of their base. There you go. I cut the garlic base off. Now I've seen cooking shows where then they take a toothpick and they just pop the little babies right out. I've never been successful for that. So now it's peeling the skins. A lot of fluff, a lot of skin. If any of that skin gets in, don't worry, it's going to be strained out eventually. Ooh, that one's a nice big clove right there. Now what I do is I'm going to take the knife, I'm going to put the knife on top of the clove. I'm going to keep the blade pointed away from your hand. Push your hand down until you hear a crunch. And then when you pick it up, the rest of the peel should come right off like that. Now if I want to, I can cut up that garlic into more garlic bits, or I could just pop it right in there. I didn't hear a crunch too well. It started to crunch, so some of the casing came off. Okay. Crush. Crush. This garlic is going to be in the solution for a good long time. So I think just crushed garlic will work. It doesn't have to be cut. The main count is if it works. If you make this fire cider and you're taking it and you still get sick, or you find yourself fatter than ever, then you probably didn't use enough ingredients. But again, ooh, it fell off my cutting board. That made I don't like that sound. You clink. Let's put this forward. So you can't see the bottom of the jar, but you can see when I get done with each new ingredient, I will show you the progress of my jar. You don't have to just stop at 1 clove. If you want extra power to your fire cider, go ahead and do 2 cloves. Now remember, I'm not an expert. This is just me. Let's see, I smushed those, but they didn't crush very well, so I'm just going to rough chop them. The more surface area that is exposed to the vinegar, the more essence will leach out and into the vinegar. Now this is just not any vinegar. You want to get the apple cider vinegar, which has something called the mother in it. Now the mother is referring to a bacteria that grows inside of apple cider that causes it to turn to vinegar. And it's a healthy bacteria. And our bodies have helpful bacteria that help us digest food. It's actually, for our bodies to have no bacteria, is actually very bad for us. And sometimes we have too much of the wrong kind of bacteria, because there are different kinds of bacteria, just like there are different kinds of people. We're all people, we are living, but we are different. You just gotta love. Like the bacteria in your stomach might be different. Well, I really don't know a lot about bacteria. I assume the bacteria in your stomach might be a little different from the bacteria in your mouth. The bacteria that forms plaque. And there's bacteria in your gut that helps you digest down in there. A doctor, a real health professional, could probably tell you what is what. As much as I like sage, I don't think I'll add sage to this one. Okay, now that we got the garlic, we're going to do the ginger root. Now, the hardest thing about this recipe is trying to decide how much is enough. Always err on the side of too much. I'm going to do a whole bunch of thin slices of ginger root. The one I'm using is an organic ginger root. I don't know if there's a difference. Some people feel there is a difference. So I want ginger. Now ginger is a spicy root. If you've ever had a lot of food made with ginger, you know it can give quite a kick. Here we go, ginger. So you can see my my thyme and my rosemary, my layer of garlic, and now I'm going to do some ginger. You don't want to let this stuff go bad, so always err on the side of a little bit more. Maybe someone's done one with measurements. But I've been hearing about fire cider for a while from different people. But my sister started buying it from Matriarc Medicines. Now these ladies have studied it. They know all the right proportions. They know how much is enough and how much is too much. And so I highly recommend buying from Matriarc Medicines. But if you are a crafter like me, there it is. We have, I think, as much ginger as we do of garlic. Do I want to add more ginger? I don't know. I think I'll save this. Next ingredient is purple onion. And the last ingredients are rosemary and thyme, because I don't think you're supposed to use as much as I put in, but also it was in a box. It was in my way, so I chose to use it first. It doesn't matter what order you do these in. It does not. It's all going to get shaken up in a jar. It's all going to mush together for 6 to 7 weeks. The longer it can sit there, the better, because it just has longer for the stuff. Now, the recipes I saw says only use half a red onion. I'm going to use the bigger half. I love onion. Maybe I'm going to use that other half for dinner. There we go. I'm dying for a nap. I really need to do some face paint practice and some balloon twisting practice, but I'm getting together with some balloon artists tonight for what we call a jam, balloon jam. So I guess I'll practice my balloons tonight. But for now, I'm not rinsing off my knife because it's all mixing together. So see, here's my jar. Rosemary and thyme, garlic, ginger, red onion. You see how the red onion is about to fill the jar? But there's still a few things I want to put in here. Okay, so what I just did is the basic ingredients for what is on the recipe on the back of the Matriarc Medicine. But there are variations in Matriarch. People have shared some of the ideas in the ingredients. One of them, add jalapenos. If it's not spicy enough, add jalapenos. And cranberries. Cranberries help clean out your gut, your liver, your kidneys, your bladder. So I guess if you're having liver and kidney and bladder problems, it's a good thing to add. I'm thinking I went gung-ho on the onions. I'm going to shake some of the onions out. Herbs. Anyways, there we go. I have a little bit of cranberries left over. I want to use them up before they go bad, so I'm just going to put the last of my cranberries that are good into this mix. Go through the cranberries. Oop, oop. And they're rolling away. Don't waste the cranberries. And another person that I listened to highly suggests giving your jar a shake every day. I don't know if it helps, but I can tell you it's satisfying. I also heard that you can add cinnamon sticks to it. And it recommended breaking your cinnamon stick before putting them in. So they don't break too easy, but they do snap in half with a good knife. Or they kind of splinter. They don't break in half, more as splintering. Once they're splintered, they're easy to break in half. Breaking them in half, I think, just helps get them in the jar better. Now, I haven't done one with cinnamon, so this will be a new one. This will be a fun one. Cinnamon. Now, my other batch that I made, the one that I put in this jar, this one had all the ingredients with cranberries. This one will be cranberries with cinnamon. Okay, now that I got all my ingredients in the jar, I'm just going to finish putting these onion in, pushing it down. It'll settle, it'll mush. You don't have to mush it down. This is just me being silly. Okay, now you're going to take your apple cider vinegar with the mother. It says there on the bottom. Give it a shake. So the bacteria that settles on the bottom is all mixed in. And then you just pour in enough apple cider vinegar to cover. And then you can save the jar to put your mixture in. It's almost to the top. I'm gonna add some more apple cider vinegar. Here's some new from the store. You could see the cloudiness on the bottom. That's the bacteria. That's the mother. Before I open it, let's give it a shake. Shake up all that bacteria. Hello, mother. I love you, mother. It's always good to tell your mother you love them. Okay. I don't need much more. Just enough to cover everything in the jar. Some of the pieces will float. This is floating a little bit. I'm going to get some air bubbles out by stabbing it. So maybe I can fit a little more apple cider vinegar in here without the air bubbles. Since apple cider vinegar, it kills all bad bacteria and stuff. So I'm gonna, it doesn't have to be sealed. You just have to put a lid on it and keep air, and you basically just need to keep particles from getting in there. Oh, I almost forgot the most important ingredient. Silly me. I'm very silly. Turmeric. Now another lady, it might have been someone from Matriarc Medicines. She tried using turmeric root, and she said she had better results when she used powdered turmeric. I'm just going to put a teaspoon, a heaping teaspoon. More never hurts. There we go. Now, if you've heard about turmeric and ginger is great for reducing inflammation. Inflammation is what makes you bloated. Okay, now that I have that in there, I'm going to take my stick and start mixing it up, because the turmeric was supposed to be in there on top of the herbs when you first pour in the apple cider vinegar, so the turmeric gets mixed all the way through this concoction. I'm having a lot of fun with this. Sometimes you need to make life fun. Life is not always fun. You have to make it that way. Or make the best out of a bad situation. Okay. The air bubbles are out. The turmeric is in there. Just a little bit more. I am filling this up way too full. We'll see. It should still be good. As Joy said, it's good. We're all good. All right. I just wiped down the wetness. Just finger tight. You don't have to wrench it. And now comes the fun part. We shake it. Get it all mixed in there. And now we are going to, where did that piece of tape go? Ah, here we go. We get a piece of tape. We stick the piece of tape on. We get a marker. Today is 2/20/27/25. And now we're going to go to the calendar. Okay, so this is day 1. Start. So next week, Tuesday, will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Be week 5. This will be week 6. And this will be the end of week 7. And so the 17th is when we get our jar out. April 27. You want to keep it in a nice dark place, but someplace where you can remember to give it the occasional shake. So I'm going to put it down here in the dark corner of my cabinet. So that's how I make my version of fire cider and how it's a continually evolving process. Now, when you buy it from Fire Cider, it's not as cloudy as my homemade version, which means I'm probably going overkill and taking it way too strong. But I'm healthy. Yay! Have a wonderful day. Learn something new. Have a lot of fun. And learn from your mistakes. See you guys later. Bye.